Hey there, Jed Coburnus here, and I just want to tell you or inform you of my story. Right? I think it's important that you know who I am, where I came from, what I stand for, all that fun stuff. First, let me start with my beliefs. I grossly let me rephrase that. I think we grossly underestimate the power of our own mind. And let me start with, I do a lot from my car because, we're all really freaking busy. We're all very busy with what we have and in life, and I fit it in, right? I fit in helping people when I can, and I have, I'm driving, so why not? But yeah, I seriously think we grossly underestimate the power of our own mind. We believe, in our day and age that somebody gives us motivation, somebody is gonna give us, something, but no way, right? No way is that gonna happen. You have to do it yourself. That's it. We all have dreams, we all have visions, and we all have goals. I hate goals because goals are man-made, but we all have vision and dreams. It's just really having enough guts to risk it all, or risk to go get those visions and dreams, to go make them happen. A great quote that I've heard many, many, many times is, you can create your own luck. And the true definition of luck is preparation meets opportunity. So that's what I believe, right? I was born in Mitchell, South Dakota. And my parents, they were great parents. They were really good parents. They taught me work ethic. They gave us, everything we needed. And some things that we wanted, which is fine. Because if I would have gotten everything I wanted in life, I probably wouldn't be the person who I was today. So that's really why I respect the hell out of my parents. I was a fat kid, right? In middle school, I was about 230 pounds, 5'4", and it was not pleasant. My dad was working a really good job. He was just gone all the time, and not to his fault that, he was providing for the family. So that's why he was gone. So it wasn't his fault. He was just, doing what he needed to do to provide. But it just was taking, way too much away. And my mom, it just sucked. So she pretty much gave him the ultimatum of, either you switch jobs or we get a divorce. So of course he, quit that job and got a job at a camper dealership, which at that point in time, I wouldn't have guessed that it would have changed my life so much. Because when I was 14 was my, that's when he did all of that, quit his job, or quit that other job, got that job. He was there, I think, about 2 years, and then, then he was like, okay, I'm 14, he's been there long enough, he's telling me get a job, and my, smart self gets a job where my dad works, right? Why not? Because then I can slough off and catch a ride, and, 14, didn't have a car yet. I could drive, but didn't have a car. Well, that quickly turned into my way of learning work ethic. Going as hard as I could, as fast as I could, because that's how it worked. First morning, remember like yesterday, thinking, yeah, okay, here we go, day one, I'm gonna make some money, do nothing, catch a ride with dad to work. No. I had to ride my bike that summer, right? My dad, I'm sitting there pouring a bowl of cereal, and he asked me how you get to work, and I'm like, huh? right? So my bike was sitting out. I'm like, damn it. I had to pedal my fat ass to work every day and home. And then I got smart, right? Got a moped, right? Got a little moped. But at the same time, I lost a lot of weight, man. Like, I went from 230 to, was it around 150? It was around 150 pounds that summer. It was crazy. Like, it was good. And right there was it. You know, at that point in my life, I was like, wow, okay. Now I know the difference between a plier and a screwdriver, and I know work ethic, because I got yelled at if I didn't work. I didn't, you know, I was thinking at the time, like, Dad, why aren't you sticking up for me? Because the foreman would just yell at you, which is fine, you know. And that's what he was like. He's like, hey, quit screwing around. Work your ass off and you'll be happy. He was right. So, I wasn't great in school. I was good enough. Graduated high school. Anytime I thought my parents were disciplining me, I thought, you know, they were trying to control me, so I rebelled. I brought that rebellious attitude or, you know, state to college, and I pretty much started failing out of college because I was partying all the time. I was partying and weightlifting. That was it. Those were two things that I found that I was really good at. I was in a fraternity too, and those guys actually helped me figure out what I was good at. And, you know, it was partying, which you can make money figuring out how to party, right? But I just didn't know that at the time. So I figured out what I can do with exercise and weightlifting. So I got an exercise science degree, but racked up quite a lofty bill. Graduated college with a boatload of student loan debt. Got my internship job, which is awesome. You know, 5 years at a inpatient treatment center specializing in traumatic brain injuries, strokes, you know, anything like that. But I think the minute I knew what I wanted to do in life was I was around 19. I was, you know, I always worked through college, so I was working at a place that helped developmentally disabled people live on their own. I like to just hang out with people, so why not get paid to do it? So that's what it was. So one night I was hanging out with this dude, and just a down, depressed kind of person, and didn't want to talk much. And it was crazy because I took, you know, I saw a YMCA pass hanging from his key, you know, his key thing by the door. And I was like, you want to go to the Y? And he's like, yeah. So we went to the Y. His mobility was not great. His, you know, spirit was not great. But when we walked around the track, he lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, just loved it. And right there, that was it. I wanted to give people that feeling. That feeling is what, you know. And I knew exercise was, you know, a way to do that. Was actually the way to do that. So those two worlds came together for me. Went to work at that job for 5 years. And then decided, all right, let's time to do, you know, let's work in the general population for a little bit. You know, there's a lot of gyms out there. There are a lot of gyms out there. But do you actually need a gym in today's world to get healthy? Hell no, you don't. Hell no. The internet is a great resource, right? So I found this company. I found, you know, an app. I found what I really believed would be, or is really, a friggin' sweet answer to what I would say a lot of people's problems is you change too much too fast. Okay? And ever since I found that, it was game on. Teaching people that philosophy, you know, with small changes, their tagline, which I'm not going to go into detail about the program, is just, it's one small change. But it is a big deal because it opened my eyes to so much of what I wasn't doing myself, and what I wasn't even having, exercise science in my head, right? There was just so much more I wasn't doing. Nutrition, I have certifications in nutrition, but it doesn't, you can have all the certs and all the information in the world. It's execution is what's key. And I think now that, like I said, as far as the internet, I think now that the internet's out there and people understand how to use it, they're looking for it as a resource for health information. And nothing pisses me off more when, something happens and you go to the internet and then you use that as a resource. How do you know it's right? Who's regulating the internet for health information? Yes and no, the government, whatever, but really who's right on that too? I'm not saying right or wrong, just saying. I would say that's where I come in, is I'm basically a filter for that kind of shit. I mean, it is straight up just shit. Sorry to swear, but it really is. So that is what I do. Like, I research all day long, talking to people, helping them believe in themselves again, giving them that feeling that person had at the YMCA that night. That was such an amazing turn of events for me, and I would say for him, because he always went back. We always went back. And that's what I do today, is I get to just be there for people with no expectation, right? I don't expect anything in return. I guess the only thing I would expect is you start to look in the mirror and love that person. No matter what you look like, no matter what you feel like, that's where you start. You have to start there. So that's my story. That's who I am. And that's who I will continue to be. So really, if you want more information about what I'm doing personally, financially, business-wise, let me know. I mean, I'm more than willing to listen to basically anything. If you need a coach, a mentor, anybody, anything, contact me. I'm willing to listen. And thank you for listening to my story, my life. So you have yourself a great rest of your day. What I always say is, if you are willing to change for the neck up, you will change for the neck down. And I always say at the end of everything that I do is, believe in you, because you have to know that I do, and you're worth it. Have a great day. Bye for now.